You are now watching Zaclasage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! What's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Zaclasage. Today we're going to be covering some more Pokemon TCG Live content, and the content that we're covering today is going to be Decidueye. Pokemon TCG Live comes with a handful of awesome decks, so if you're new to the game, I'm going to explain how these decks work so you can kind of move up on the rank ladder and get some freebies along the way. Decidueye is all about using its Deep Forest Camo ability and stopping Pokemon V, well, really pretty much Pokemon V in their tracks. It does stop GX Pokemon, but in our standard format that consists of Pokemon V, V-Star, VMAX, V-Union, no GX Pokemon. So Deep Forest Camo will slow down our opponent if they do have those cards and if they don't necessarily have an answer that would counter Decidueye. At that point, you just use Splitting Arrow over and over again until you win the game. It's a pretty effective strategy if it does work. So in this video, I will be showing you how it works and kind of explaining everything that I can about Decidueye. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe, and let me know what type of Pokemon TCG Live or any kind of Pokemon content you want to see on the channel. Let's jump into the deck. Looking at the Decidueye deck, which you can see on the right hand side here, you can see there's quite a few cool things that you can do. The deck does play Bird Keeper, so you can use Sky Circus and ignore the energy cost to use something like Wind Shard, snipe something on the bench, maybe you did some damage to it with Decidueye. We do have Dartrix that we can evolve into in case we don't get Rare Candy, and ultimately we're trying to get into Decidueye, Deep Forest Camo our opponent, slow them down, hit them with Splitting Arrow. The goal of this deck is to isolate your opponent's Pokemon that can attack you, so they're only left with Pokemon that they can't attack with. So attack their Pokemon like Inteleon, maybe their little single prize card Pokemon attackers. Leave the Pokemon V alone until late game when that's all they have left. We also have access to Sobble you can keep calling, search your deck for some more Sobbles. We do have Drizzile, so you can use Shady Dealings to search out important cards such as Rare Candy. We have Inteleon that can do the same thing except to a whole other different level. Also, Inteleon allows you to do quick shooting, which can magnify the damage of whatever Decidueye does and trying to draw multiple prize cards in a turn. We have Snorlax that's used to set up this deck. It's a pretty ideal starter, and you could always get it out of the active spot with something like Scoop Up Net or Bird Keeper. We have Big Parasol, so that's going to prevent any kind of effects to your opponent's Pokemon done to all your Pokemon. So Decidueye's Deep Forest Camo ability only specifies damage, not damage counters. Big Parasol is a great way to get around that. So if you run into a Dragapult VMAX deck, that's one way that they could get around it, by hitting your bench Pokemon. Tool Jammer is something that you can do to get around anything that they might have going on, slow your opponent down a little bit more. We have Energy Search to search things out. Evolution Incense can get out Drizziles, but you can also get out whatever we're literally looking for. Level Ball, again, searching for Drizziles, Sobbles, whatever we're really looking for. We have Rare Candy that will allow us to quickly evolve into a Decidueye, but you could also turn Sobble into an Inteleon, so keep that in mind. Scoop Up Net's a great way to keep off extra prize cards off your board. If you only have Decidueyes and they can't attack Decidueye, they can't really do too much. Scoop Up Net's a good way to get out of the active spot. Also another way for you to reutilize your Shady Dealings from a Drizzile onto a new Sobble. We have Bird Keeper, as we said, another way to get out of the active spot, kind of a way to retreat, and it does activate Rowlet to attack. We have Boss's Orders to bring up things that are non-V Pokemon. So if your opponent has something that can attack Decidueye, isolate it very quickly. We have Marnie to disrupt their hands. We have Research just for draw, Raihan, so we can basically get whatever we want. This also can search out a Rare Candy, so it allows us to have a fresh Rowlet, Raihan, accelerate an energy to it, go Rare Candy, Decidueye, attach an energy, start attacking and blocking our opponent again. Capture Energies allow us to search things out thoroughly. We have Grass Energies to attack, Water Energies to attack if we want to attack with Inteleon. So Decidueye is a really cool deck. I do recommend it for playing in the ladder, especially if you are expecting Pokemon V decks. There are quite a few decks that do have ways around Decidueye, so it has toned itself back down in the metagame. So I do think there might be better decks to choose, but if you do like the Decidueye deck, here's how you're going to play it. Let's jump into some gameplay. So our opponent's going to be starting the coin flip. Your opponent chose heads. They're flipping the coin. Watch this coin get flipped. Flipping one coin. Boom. Heads. It looks like our opponent's going to be going first. Most decks want to go first in the game, but it is a chance where they might choose for us to go first. They're going to go first. We're fine going second. We could always go Call for Family. We could always go for Gormandize. There's things that we can do here. So we are actually going to start here with Sobble. You can see that we have access to Drizziles. It's not a bad setup at all for us. So we're going to go ahead, send up the Sobble, and there's no point of us putting anything else down because we can always wait until our turn. They can't really shuffle things up. Our opponent is playing Rapid Strike Urshifu. They might not really have many strong attackers against us, although they might be able to attack us with Inteleon at the same time. So our goal is to really get set up with Decidueye's ASAP before our opponent goes VMAX Rapid Flow. We're going to start it off here by going for Capture Energy. All we could really do is search our deck for another Rowlet, and if our opponent goes VMAX Rapid Flow and knocks out Rowlet, we're really in trouble. There's nothing we could do. Let's go ahead, play those down. Let's just go keep calling, searching our deck for some more Sobbles. So we could always go Sobble it up. We don't want to offer our opponent too many prize cards, so I am just going to go ahead and search out the two. We don't need to necessarily get the last one. If our opponent goes VMAX Rapid Flow next turn, they just knock out both Rowlets, we're in a tough spot. Although, if they don't, we do have access to Drizzile, Rare Candy, into Decidueye, and we're chillin'. That's really going to be our biggest strength. So there's their Path to the Peak, there's their Crobat. So they put Crobat down after Path to the Peak. Not entirely sure why, but everyone's entitled to play Pokemon how they want to. If you're joining our channel for the first time, it's a great way to learn Pokemon TCG in general here. I try to teach everyone from the ground up, and as a Players Cup champion, international champion finalist, regional champion, national champion, all those accomplishments, I could really show you what's going on. And while I don't necessarily think Decidueye is the best deck out of all the new decks, it is a really solid deck overall. Considering our opponent's discarding things such as Drizzile and putting down Crobat after Path to the Peak, I truly think that they might not even decide to knock out our Rowlets, and they might also not go for anything where they might not attack with Inteleon. There's 120 there. Don't put the 120 on the other Rowlet, please. If they go double Rowlet, that'd be really bad for us. I'm not sure where they're going to be putting the other damage. It looks like they're still deciding. In this case, if like we have access to Decidueye, we could start hitting their other Pokemon. That's our best case scenario. If they do take care of both Rowlets, it's going to be incredibly tough for us to deal with. And that's something that we're going to struggle about, especially going second. We didn't even have a chance to evolve them before our opponent was able to attack them both. So they decided to go with the other Sobble, not entirely sure why. Even the active Sobble would have been much better. But when you are in these early ranks, not every single person's going to be playing correctly. That's why this video is so good, to show you how these strategies do work effectively. Now, let's see what we're going to be getting off the top of our deck. We did get a Dartrix, but we do want to Rare Candy this before our opponent goes VMAX Rapid Flow again. So let's go ahead, go Drizzile here, search our deck for a Rare Candy. Yes. So Rare Candy is going to allow us to skip the Dartrix step. There's that Rare Candy. Let's Rare Candy this up. Boom, already evolved. And we are going to go for an Evolution Incense as well, searching our deck for another Drizzile. At this point, I think we're going to be looking for a supporter if possible. So let's be using Drizzile, search our deck for, I think the best case scenario for us might just be a Marnie. We don't necessarily want to pitch this hand away. So let's go yes, search our deck for Marnie. We would have liked to use Raihan, but we don't have the basic energy in our discard pile to use with it. So you can see turn 2, we were able to get our Decidueye. We do want to attach the energy before we play Marnie. Grass energy is going to be step 1 of it. So there's our grass energy. We have it on the Decidueye. If I can attach the energy, there we go. We're still on the PTCG live beta, so not everything's perfect, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's see what else we can get here with our hand. Getting another Rowlet down wouldn't be too bad, especially if we were able to get something else set up. But reasonably, there's not much else. We could retreat. Our opponent might just bring it back up. I'm just going to pass here because it gets to a certain point. If we have access to Decidueye, we're chilling. We also have boss's orders to take out their Sobble if they decide to attack with it. So let's go ahead and end turn, because they could eventually evolve into an Inteleon, Rapid Strike Energy, and start attacking us or quick shooting us or anything else like that. That'd be really scary for us to deal with, and I'm not entirely sure what our opponent's going to be doing, but it looks like they're just going to be getting set up with an Octillery, so maybe they can get an Energy. So there's that Octillery. Let's see what they decide to do. Maybe they're just going to grab a Karina's Focus. Maybe they'll grab a Rapid Strike Energy. Regardless, it doesn't matter win or loss. Our deck is only going to be able to do Decidueye things against decks where Decidueye blocks them. Our opponent, if they go G-Max Rapid Flow against this Decidueye, it's going to do 0. So if our opponent has nothing that can attack the Decidueye and we're able to knock out other things, we're in a really good spot. Considering they're already down a Rapid Strike Energy in their discard pile, and they're down another energy, I think we're in a pretty good spot. And we can also just take care of this Drizzile really soon and start knocking out other things, because our bench damage mixed with Inteleon's quick shooting damage will really add up. So again, win or loss, we're going to play our butts off, but that's all we could do. There's Gale Thrust. No harm, no foul, we're chilling. Let's see what we can top deck. Ooh, we got Evolution Incense. So we can actually take care of this, and we could take care of this in the same turn. I think that's the biggest thing that we possibly can do, as long as we have another quick shooting in deck. And we do have another quick shooting in deck. I don't necessarily like leaving my hand vulnerable by not grabbing another Inteleon to do shady dealings, but we really don't need too much else at this point. We're going to retreat this Drizzile, and we're going to send up the Decidueye. Let's go ahead, Grass Energy to Decidueye. We're going to evolve into a quick shooting Inteleon. We're going to evolve into another quick shooting Inteleon. And this is where the magic happens. We're going to go Boss's Orders. Let's drag up this Drizzile. And let's go ahead, go for quick shooting onto the Sobble. We got to make sure that we drag it on here. It's not click, it's drag. We're going to go ahead. We're going to use our other quick shooting ability. So that's going to put 40 damage onto that Sobble. So let's go ahead. We're going to drag that damage again. And we also have access to Splitting Arrow. Splitting Arrow will knock out the active and 20 damage to 2 bench Pokemon. You can only guess which 2 bench Pokemon we're going to hit. That Sobble's gone, and we're isolating our opponent's Pokemon that could potentially attack. Now, based off the way that our opponent's been playing, it doesn't necessarily look that they've played against a Decidueye deck before, but we still have to play as if anything could happen to us. So far, there's a prize card. We're going to get another prize card from that Sobble. And our opponents also lost access to using Shady Dealing, so not only is it a good attacking Pokemon if it could eventually evolve, it is something that we're cutting their setup off. And they might just go ahead and go knockout, or they might just go G-Max Rapid Flow, hit our active, and really not pay attention to the Deep Forest camo, similar to how our opponent went Pat to the Peak, then dropped down a Crobat V. Decidueye is really one of those sneaky decks that if your opponent's not paying attention, they might just attack into the Deep Forest camo. And especially when you're playing on PTCG Live, someone could be staring at their phone, staring at their computer on the side, cooking dinner, and Decidueye is one of those really sneaky decks that can block the right decks. So I'm not sure why they ended up grabbing that. So further down, double Sobble. We're just going to try to take out other ones. If we do have access to another boss's orders, we'd really like to knock out Sobbles if we have the possibility. Okay, gotcha. They're going to be searching for the Sobble there. If they don't take out this Inteleon, for some reason, we are able to knock out this Sobble again. So it depends on who they're choosing. This only does extra damage to V and GX Pokemon, so they'd have to choose Inteleon. If they choose this Decidueye and this Inteleon, we still have opportunities to make some really cool plays. So they chose the right Inteleon the first time. Not sure where they're going to choose the other one. Obviously on the other Inteleon. They made the correct choice, but again, our opponent is without energies. We're back rolling in this game. Let's see what's going on this turn. So we got another Grass Energy. This might not be a bad play. We could always just go ahead and attach a Grass Energy here and go Bird Keeper as a chance to maybe get out another Decidueye, because we can retreat back. So let's go ahead. Let's do this. Bird Keeper. We also could have done Bird Keeper first. That might have been a better play. So nothing really crazy going on here. I think I might just go for the Tool Jammer because the Big Parasol is probably not going to matter. And they might have some random tool that could be helpful for them. So I am going to go ahead here and retreat into the Decidueye. We still have access to quick shooting, so let's make sure that it's happening. Let's go quick shooting, put the 2 damage counters onto the Sobble. And again, we're going to be chilling with the Splitting Arrow. So 90 damage to the active, 20, and we want to isolate the Pokemon that we think are going to be able to attack. We don't think that this is going to be attacking. That's just going to do 20 damage to one of our opponent's bench Pokemon. Not a big deal. or one of our Pokemon in general, it's not a big deal. We really just want to be focusing on the Sobble and maybe the Octillery. So it looks like our opponent's just using this to use Gale Thrust, and there might be a point where they're just going to continuously build up this Pokemon. That's it. They might just build up their Rapid Strike Urshifu. That's fine. If they just want to build up Rapid Strike Urshifu all game long, we're completely fine with that. Okay, there's their energy. And I'm assuming they're going to do Gale Thrust for the 30 to make it happen. There's a Tower of Waters. That's also fine. Is this going to be another Sobble? I'm really not sure what our opponent's going to be doing here. But we are in that rare situation where we're chilling with the one last Decidueye. We would really like to get another Rowlet out. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Let's see how this plays out. And here they're probably going to go for Karina's Focus. Oh, they're just going to grab an Inteleon. The Inteleon can be like difficult for us to deal with. Would be really nice for us to get a boss's orders to knock out this Drizzile before it turns into anything else, because they're already down a bunch of other resources this game. Let's see what we can get here. We did get Marnie. I mean, honestly, when it comes to Marnie, we might just want to play the Marnie. Our opponent has 2 prize cards left. Don't give your opponent any extra prize cards. We know that it's in their deck, so let's just go ahead. Marnie, maybe we'll be able to get the Rowlets. And the Rowlet might also prompt them to attach the energy over there as well. Yeah, so we're just going to go for the Rowlet. Again, not benching the Snorlax, because the Snorlax might put us in a really bad situation. Because we don't want to give them 2 free prize cards that could just go G-Max Rapid Flow on the bench and knockouts. Let's go Splitting Arrow. Again, 90 damage to the active, and we're just going to try to isolate on the Pokemon that could attack. Octillery is not a strong attacker, but they can attack with it with Rapid Strike Energy and another energy. All that little damage could add up over time. Now, let's see what they decide to do. I mean, if they just chill with this Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX in the active, it's going to be tough. But at some point, we might be able to build up another Dartrix, and we could be in an okay enough spot where things could happen. It's a tight game, but they do have opportunities around it. Their best case scenario is to start attacking us with an Inteleon, just because Inteleon's a strong attacker, but we've done enough damage to it where we will be able to knock it out. I think we've done everything we possibly can, and they only do 70, so there's quite a few turns that, like, they have to still just, like, sit there and just go quick shooting. They don't have multiple quick shootings. I think we're okay. But best case scenario for them is that they eventually attack with that Inteleon to try to get through Deep Forest Camo. So they decide to attach to their Rapid Strike Urshifu, which is great for us. It doesn't necessarily look like they're playing around this. And they're just going to hit Decidueye. They might think that they win the game, but they don't go through Deep Forest Camo. So this is really where the deck is going to be huge for us. That they're now down 3 Rapid Strike Energies. We might be able to just, like, we really want boss's orders to take this out there. We'll see how it goes. So at this point, we can't put anything else down. This Decidueye is the final army for everything. We're just going to go ahead. Decidueye, 90, 20, 20. I think that's the best thing that we possibly can do, just in case we can outpace it with quick shooting. I think that works out for us if they don't have another Rapid Strike Energy. So when it comes down to it, you want to make sure that you have enough Decidueyes based off the amount of prize cards your opponent has left. If we bench that Snorlax, our opponent could knock out that Snorlax and find a way to eventually win the game. So let's see what our opponent's going to be doing here. They might go through some kind of Scoop Up Net pattern to get around that damage being on that Inteleon. That might be difficult for us, but it's also a thing where if they just leave this Rapid Strike Urshifu in the active spot, they are going to be in a world of pain because we will be able to draw some more prize cards, bringing us much closer to win the game. So they are going to be retreating, and they're setting up the Inteleon. They might be attacking with the Rapid Strike Energy. So our opponent is thinking about that play, but we've built enough damage on this Pokemon where we are able to knock it out. That's really a big thing for us. So that's their last Rapid Strike Energy for the rest of the game. Beyond that, they should just have basic energies. They have no way to get their energies back either. So there's the quick shooting. This is also going to, the 70 damage is going to put us at 110, but we will be able to knock them out with splitting arrows because we were isolating this Pokemon, adding damage directly to it. And this is what I'm talking about. Some decks are a combination of V Pokemon, VMAX Pokemon, and basic single prize card attackers or stage 2 single prize card attackers. Inteleon's quite a popular Pokemon, and it can attack in a lot of decks because of its double colorless energy cost. So there's that waterfall, putting us at 110. Our opponent might even be able to attack us with Passimian or something. They're just going to concede because we're going to knock them out. Maybe they haven't necessarily thought about that, but we are going to take that dub. Let's go. We won with Decidueye. As you can see, Decidueye seemed to be working out pretty well, but games do get really close, and if we didn't play the way that we did, we would have lost. Decidueye viewing that splitting arrow damage is incredibly important, and just trying to find the correct Pokemon to knock out is huge. We didn't necessarily get the strongest hand, and our opponent got a really quick start, but it does happen. Our opponent could have played a little bit better around Decidueye, but some players are not necessarily understanding of what Decidueye does or what decks like this do. So if you're looking for something that's sneaky, that you might be able to fall into some freebie wins, or maybe your opponent might not necessarily be paying the most attention, this is a great deck to try out. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and by all means, if you are trying to grow as a player by playing PTCG Live, feel free to hit me up here in the comments. Feel free to kind of get some coaching on metafy.gg/@ZachLesage. I'm really here to help you grow on your Pokemon journey, and I welcome you to the world of Pokemon. If you're someone who regularly watches my channel, I know this video might not necessarily be the most exciting, but it is a great way for players to get into the game and a solid resources for anyone who's starting to play Pokemon TCG Live. That being said, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great day. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.